and destiny begins to shift. The sickness began so quietly that no one recognized it as a warning. Masanachi's first son, once strong and full of life, started to complain of tiredness that sleep could not cure. He no longer ran freely around the compound, no longer laughed with the same ease. His body weakened day by day, as if something unseen was slowly draining him. Masanachi noticed every change and pleaded with Odoh to act, but her concerns were brushed aside. He believed sickness was temporary and care unnecessary until it demanded money. By the time seriousness replaced pride, the illness had already settled deep within the boy. Herbs were prepared by local healers, elders were consulted, and prayers were whispered into the night. Still, nothing changed. The boy grew thinner, quieter, more distant from the life he was meant to inherit. Elizabeth watched from her hut with unease, her heart troubled though she spoke no words. Aga felt fear without understanding its meaning. The compound itself seemed to hold its breath. At night, Masanachi sat beside her son, listening to his shallow breathing, begging the ancestors for mercy, while bitterness quietly grew toward the man who should have protected his own blood. Death came without explanation or mercy. One morning, the boy did not wake. His body lay still, cold, and unresponsive, taking with it the future everyone had assumed was secure. Wailing filled the compound, but beneath the cries was confusion and fear. In Amangwu, the death of a first son shook more than a household. It disturbed tradition itself. Elders gathered, speaking in hushed tones, unable to name the cause. Masanachi's world collapsed, and with it, the certainty of her children's place. The compound had lost its heir, and nothing would ever return to its former order. After the burial, the compound of Odoh did not return to normal. Instead, it entered a season of quiet adjustment, the kind that happens when tradition is forced to move faster than emotions can follow. Elders came and went, speaking in careful tones, weighing age against order, blood against custom. In Igbo land, inheritance does not wait for grief to settle. With the first son gone and Masanachi's second son still too young, attention turned naturally, almost coldly, toward Elizabeth's first son, who was older and now next in line. No announcement was made, yet everyone understood what had changed. Power had shifted without noise, and silence became its witness. Elizabeth accepted the change with restraint. She neither celebrated nor protested, understanding that in Amangwu, visible emotion could invite trouble. Her son, though still young, began to feel the weight of expectation placed quietly on his shoulders. He was called more often to sit with elders, to listen, to observe. Meanwhile, Masanachi withdrew further into herself. The loss of her son had broken something deep within her, and the loss of position made the wound heavier. She watched her remaining children play in the dust, suddenly unsure of their future in a compound that no longer protected them. Odoh remained unchanged. He did not guide the transition, nor did he comfort the grieving. He allowed tradition to decide while he stood apart, as distant as ever. His silence became permission for neglect to deepen. Masanachi's health began to fail, slowly at first, then more visibly. She grew weaker, thinner, and quieter, her strength drained by grief and abandonment. The compound noticed, but no one intervened. In Amangwu, neglect often hides behind custom, and by the time concern rises, it is usually